Hello there and welcome back to another discussion video, and today we're going to be talking about a few bits. We're going to be going over a bit of a channel update, as well as that being going over the future of Battlefield and Milsim on Battlefield, and really just talking about that and how that could pan out as well. So getting into the channel update, now we've just passed 1.6k subscribers. That's great. We're heading towards 1.61k, so that's really cool. So thank you guys for everyone that has subscribed, and if you haven't already, if you could hit that subscribe button, because currently right now there's about 45% of you that are watching the videos are actually subscribed, so we're getting closer to the halfway mark for that, but there are a few of you that aren't subscribed, so if you could hit that subscribe button, support us, my Milsim, and basically myself, my own content, as well as the Milsim community on here, to be able to raise awareness. If you could just hit that subscribe button to be able to help us out, that would be great. So with the channel, in the future, different types of content will most definitely be coming to the channel. It won't always just be Battlefield stuff. This isn't what I wanted for the channel, even though it's like the primary niche of the channel. I didn't want that to be, you know, the just consistently Battlefield content. A Fall Guys video should be coming out soon, which will be me playing with people from my Milsim, and there'll be loads of different other content coming out as well, such as around September I will be getting a DayZ server, or at least hopefully getting a DayZ server. So from there I'll be able to start producing DayZ content and really getting a new kind of niche within this channel that will be able to possibly bring in a new wave of people to this channel's community. So on that I'll be doing a DayZ RP server. You'll probably hear more about it towards the time. But that will be a brand new kind of series, like I'm doing here on obviously the Battlefield series with this reenactment series. But yeah, that will be a series going over loads of different kinds of adventures me and my friends will go through on our RP server. So I think you guys will really enjoy that, as well as other games content that will be coming out soon, especially the Fall Guys video that should be coming out this week, if not next week. So going into Battlefield now, so the future of Battlefield will be interesting, because obviously Battlefield 5 wasn't exactly well received right from the get-go. It failed miserably straight away from the trailer, with the reveal of unrealistic cosmetics and unrealistic genders taking part in the battles of which they shouldn't have. So from here I think that DICE and EA really need to look at what they're going to be doing for the next Battlefield game. Now obviously it's been rumoured that the next Battlefield game will be set in a modern setting, and that the maps and the player count will be significantly larger. Now I think this is a very good way to go, because I think Battlefield games, when they're set in the modern era, are incredibly good. Granted, they do the world wars and historical kind of events pretty well, except for, I would say, Battlefield 5, it wasn't exactly good. But I'd say BF1 and the old Battlefield 1942s and things like that, those are brilliant games. And I would say they do modern settings a lot better. I think that's their most, you know, easily standpoint games that they can do the best, such as Battlefield 4. In my personal opinion, I think that was a great game. It's just because I've played it so much and, you know, for so long, it eventually did just get boring, because there's, you know, obviously the same thing over and over again for playing that game for like 3 or 4 years. I enjoyed Battlefield Hardline as well, so I think they have a way of making these modern games really fun, and the fact that they're going to be building up the player count as well and making the maps a lot bigger, I think that will be really opening up to a new wave of players also, because you can see games on PC such as Squad and Armour, which have massive maps and then obviously huge player counts to fit those maps. Or at least I believe Squad has got a new update to be able to incorporate new players. I'm not 100% sure on that, you might want to check that out. But that could open up to be appealing to those kind of players as well, to want to come over to a more relaxed version of the game, but it still has the massive scale of the games they've been used to, but it's more, you know, arcade-like. But also with that as well, saying that, Battlefield 5, in some cases, is quite a realistic game, at least from the tank, combat point of view. The fact that you can now, properly get APCR and then heat shells and buy them as, specializations, as well as tank combat is, realistically balanced for the factions and the tanks that you are using, as well as loads of different types of classes of tanks instead of like on BF4. Where you just had obviously the main battle tank, the LAV, and then from there the AA tank. It's broadened up and it's got a lot bigger. So I think from there, the next Battlefield could be highly realistic, because the games seem to be going and getting more and more realistic as they progress. And I believe that the next Battlefield, with the fact that the maps are going to be a lot bigger, and the fact that the player counts are going to be a lot bigger, supposedly, they could really go for a huge kind of realism scale here and pull a Modern Warfare, because Modern Warfare's gunplay, to be honest, is quite realistic. With the way the guns handle, the majority of them, and the reload animations and everything is quite realistic. Now if Battlefield incorporated that in the next Battlefield game in a modern setting with huge maps and multiple vehicles with kind of realistic ballistics as they already have, as well as realistic armored combat and armored to infantry combat, as well as aerial will be interesting as well. That would be an amazing game. I think it would be a more relaxed version of Squad, and a more accessible version of Squad for console players, as well as PC players that might want to come and play a more relaxed version of Squad. So I think that would be really great if they would do that. But we'll have to obviously wait and see what they do eventually bring out as a final product. But I believe if they went that way, that would make it more appealing to a lot of PC players, as well as possibly redeem themselves with this massively unrealistic and stupid game that is Battlefield 5. However, I did want to say that if it is in a modern setting, such as Iraq or Afghanistan, or something like that, I hope it is. I don't want it to be like a World War III setting again with Battlefield 4. It'll be interesting to see what the factions would be, because then obviously you get highly political with, militant groups such as ISIS and Al-Qaeda. So it'll be interesting to see what they do from that kind of standpoint. Now moving on to where Milsim could come into this. Now, with the things that have been rumoured, Battlefield Milsim could become a massive thing on the next Battlefield games. Now it's quite big, obviously, on Battlefield 5, it's quite a big thing, but the fact that, there's not massive awareness about it, I believe if we get in videos early, or by then, the channel might be big enough to get loads of awareness for it, it could be a very popular playstyle for Battlefield, especially if they make the private games free and accessible, so then more people can actually play Milsim. And you can obviously alter the settings for damage output and things like that, instead of having to pay for them like BF1 and BF4. So that's the one thing I did like about Battlefield 5, to be honest. But we'd really overall have to wait and see. But I personally believe that Battlefield 6, or the next Battlefield title, will be the decider of the Battlefield franchise and how it will stay alive, and as well as that, Battlefield Milsim in general, because it's already dying on Battlefield 4 and BF5 is getting kind of shaky. But that's it for today, guys, so I hope you enjoyed that video. If you have any opinions, I'd like you to leave them down in the comments and we can discuss them and talk about them. Anyway, if you are new here, please subscribe and I'll see you in the next one.